Hey everybody, Stephanie here, and this is my LMS analysis for Task 2 of ISDT 7335 Management Application Analysis. So again, I am Stephanie Galvan Russell. I am a middle school librarian. I am an instructional systems design and technology EDD student, overall nerd, edtech enthusiast, and in this project, I am an LMS analyst. And while I would love to be an LMS analyst or director of educational technology, I am only holding this role for this assignment. And again, similar to the first part of this activity, for this project, I have assumed the role of technology director, helping administrators and teachers determine appropriate LMS for their school. I will be investigating the functions that Canvas and Blackboard have and evaluate them so that administrators and instructors can make an informed decision on which LMS they should use. And I would like to note that I only have access to the instructor side of Blackboard because for my internship this summer, I am working with Dr. Perry of the Sam Houston Library Science Program as a TA, and I have access to the instructor side of Canvas through my school district. Okay, I would also like to preface this by saying a lot of the information that I was looking for this project, I had to find in different places. So for Blackboard, Blackboard has a help website, and I was able to find the majority of the information I was looking for by using both the instructor side of Blackboard as well as the Blackboard help website. Canvas or InStructure, which is the company that runs and creates Canvas, does not have something like that because they make a different form of Canvas for every district that they create it for. So I had to find all of the information on Canvas through other Canvas courses from the Canvas community where a lot of the information was outdated, or just by Googling. So you'll find my references from when I was looking through other schools or other universities' Canvas help pages at the end of the presentation. Okay, so first we're going to talk about file and media storage. So in Canvas, you are able to upload files for both assignments, for if you were a student submitting an assignment, as well as in your discussions. You are able to both view and download files. You don't have to use another program for Canvas, but there are size limits to the files. The file size limit for uploading and hosting an item in Canvas is 500 megabytes. For sharing videos, they want you to use Kaltura, which is the Canvas Studio's video creation tool. And there are limits for the single Canvas accounts. So I have a photo of this. You can upload your files into Canvas, as you can see in the screenshot here. But you can see this is a screenshot from my Canvas course for my library aides. The allotted file storage for my course is 1,000 megabytes, and there are only 4.3 megabytes uploaded right now. So you can see there is a file limit. In whether you are a student or an instructor, if you're just using Canvas for storage of your files, you do have a limit of 500 megabytes. So that includes your profile picture, anything you're uploading, anything like that. So you do have to kind of decide what you want to upload and what you want to share links to. In my use of Canvas, I don't upload a lot of files. I do a lot of linking to my Google Documents, or as we'll get to in a little bit, where you can just embed your Google Documents straight into it. So again, here is a screenshot of how you can upload files into Canvas. Here's that screenshot again, showing you how much file storage there is available and what the file storage side of Canvas looks like. So in my courses, along the left-hand side where all of my buttons are for navigation, there is one for files, and they look like this. And now we're going to talk about file storage in Blackboard. Kind of the same. You are able to upload files. You are also able to view or listen to multimedia. You don't have to download, but you can. And in this one, the size limits are different. So the default size limit when you're uploading something is 2,500 megabytes. But I didn't find anything about storage limits for a single course. So that's where they kind of differ. I did want you to see that there are other cool things about Blackboard. You can download your assignments or whatever your media is and convert it to a different type of file. So this screenshot shows you how you can upload your media. And then over here, there's something called Ally or Ally. I'm pretty sure it's Ally though, where it takes the media that you're downloading and it converts it to something. So if you were a student who needed to use electronic braille, I thought this was really, really cool and great for our students who need this. You can download it in that format. You can also download it as an MP3 if you needed something where a student would hear it, and you can also download something as a translated version of that. So these are things I never knew about Blackboard that I think are going to be a game changer for students who need different accessibility accommodations. All right, so now let's talk about the enrollment process. In Blackboard, you can enroll the instructors, students, teaching assistants, and other users individually into a course, or use a batch file to enroll large groups. This is very similar to what you can do in Canvas. If you want to enroll multiple users in a course, you can enroll them in groups based on their course roles. You can select one role per set of users. For example, if one course has one or more instructors, you can add them first and then add your big group of students. Also, you can enroll all users with the role of a student and then just change them individually. Canvas is very similar to what Blackboard has as far as enrollment. So this applies exactly the same way to Blackboard, but you can also invite people to courses. I didn't see something like this in Blackboard. So in Canvas, you can go to your people tool and you can add groups, and you can also add people by their email address, by their login ID, or by their ID number. So in my district, I could add my students by their ID number here. But once this is sent out to whoever you're sending it to, they do have to accept. And then you'll notice you can change the role of who you're interacting with right there. And then I did want to mention that courses, at least in my district, are pre-populated, and that is done by the district technology team. They will automatically create your courses and then automatically add your students in there. I don't even know how that happens. I just know that when my teachers get their Canvas courses, their students are already preloaded. And then as students are switching their schedules, they can get added in, or the teacher can share. You'll see right here where students can self-sign up, so the teachers can share the link to their Canvas course and students can easily sign up that way. So there are different ways to do it depending on how you want your students to sign up for your course. Next, we're going to talk about plugins or third-party tool support. This was a really different thing for me to find when I was looking through Blackboard and Canvas. So first, in Canvas, the only way that I found plugins or third-party support were when I was creating a new post, whether it be a new page, instructions for an assignment, any of those. I had to actually find what I wanted to input into that kind of text window. And then these were the apps that I have access to. So Canvas Studio, again, is where Canvas wants you to create your videos or whatever you want to do. Commons Favorites is where you can access things from your Commons. All of these you'll see are the databases that I have access to in my district. Here's where I mentioned earlier, I can link my Google Apps, and then I can easily just embed my Google documents. So whether it be slides or docs or whatever. Here are some more databases. Microsoft Office 365, which we don't use in my district, but if we had it where the students were using it, I could embed that. Just some more databases. And then you'll see that we have Screencast-O-Matic and YouTube that can also be embedded. So just a few more things that don't take up a lot of space, but you can still embed into your course. While in Blackboard, in the editing tool, these were the only apps I found. So you can use your Dropbox, Films on Demand, photos from Flickr, GoReact, Kaltura Mashup, Kaltura Media. These are Blackboard's media, kind of the equivalent of Canvas's Kaltura Studio. Sage Vantage, which I assume is a database, SlideShare presentation, and YouTube. And as far as support for those, from what I found, I didn't find anything for Canvas. And in Blackboard, the only support I could find was using the help tool. But then they would refer me, if it was one of these third party, it would refer me to the help in that third party tool. All right, so offline support. There was none for Canvas, absolutely none, which I found really concerning because in my district, our Wi-Fi goes down after big storms, and so that is really concerning because our students lose access to Canvas. And then in Blackboard, I didn't know that as an instructor, I could have access to my course data or course tools in the app. But I learned there is only offline support available in the app. Who knew? And finally, oh, not finally, we have another section, but fifth, we're going to talk about analytics. And this is actually my favorite part of this analysis. So in Blackboard, I can see some data. So I see how many students are enrolled in this course, the participation level, how many days it's been since this last student accessed it, and how many days since the last instructor accessed it, which I think is really interesting because my mentor and I can kind of see when the last person logged in. And then I can actually see when we actually both logged in to the course. Then there's tool adoption. But this is what I think is really neat. So Blackboard takes the students' data of when they're doing assessments, their collaboration, using the communication tools, using the content, course management, and the navigation tools, and it keeps track of how often they're using it, and it's the amount of active time the users are using that tool group, and it keeps track. So I thought that was really neat. So it's not really keeping track of your data, but it's keeping track of how you are using Blackboard. Then it's keeping track of the user's activity. I'm going to move this because I forgot to cover their names. Okay, so now I can see my user activity of their last access, the ultra-base navigation, when they've used each type of tool, which is the same as what was in the graph before, but it's just telling me how often they've used it. All right, let me move this back. Okay, now this is what I really like. In Canvas, it takes the information and compiles it into graphs where I can see everything I want in one place. So this is a little different than the analytics in Blackboard. I honestly like this better, but it's just because it gives me better data to look at. So this is an example that I got off the Blackboard help page of what it can do. And this is actually my data from my library aids course. So it shows me the average course grade and their information. These were the students as well as their weekly data and how the grades changed. Then it showed me the weekly online activity. So I can see right now it's on 0 because they're not in school. But you can see how the activity changed every week of this course. Then I can see how my students are doing. So I can see their average grade, the percent of on-time assignments they've submitted, the last time they logged in, the last time they viewed something, how many page views they've had, and how much participation they've done. So I can actually keep track of how much they're participating in the course. And then reports, these are just some reports that I can run in Canvas, so I can see who's missing assignments, who's done late assignments, excused assignments, my roster, and my course activity. And I think these are really useful because you can easily run these and share them with parents for documentation. Finally, we're going to talk about course archiving. So in Canvas, you can export your course content into the Commons, which I talked about in part 1 of this activity, and you can also import from the Commons. So you could export your entire course to the Commons and then import it later. I think I've talked about having a sandbox course that is never published, and that never gets archived because it's my personal sandbox, and that's just where I drop things in and out as the semester goes on. But you can also download your entire course data and then upload it later for reuse. It also shows me these are all of my past courses that I've had. So these are all my courses. You'll see here is my sandbox, and here are some teachers' courses that I were in. And I'll see these are still published because those teachers probably have said, hey, don't archive my course yet. But you'll see these courses, my library aid courses, those are not published anymore. They've been archived because we're not using them. So in Blackboard, there are two different types of course archiving. So Blackboard Learn automatically backs up all courses with activity within the last 7 days, and the server creates the course archives automatically at 2 a.m. I didn't know this, and I thought it was really interesting to see. To prevent duplication, courses without activity since the last backup aren't archived, and to save space, each backup is incremental. It also creates a final complete archive package when a course is deleted. And once the course is archived and deleted, Blackboard will purge course resources. And they won't be in the recycle bin so that the disk space isn't used by the deleted course. So I think that's really interesting in case you forget to download your course material or export it, you still can get it within Blackboard. And when you archive a course, Canvas does the same thing. The system will create a zip file of your course content, user interactions, and submission receipts called an archive package, and then you can restore the archive packages, but they aren't intended for teaching the course again. So I think that is important to know. This isn't intended so that you use it all again. This is just kind of so you can see everything that happened. Whereas in Canvas, you have the option when you're downloading your course to download all of your actual content, and then that is what gets sent into the zip file. And then in Blackboard, this is what your data looks like once you want to download your zip files so that you can download it and upload it again. And then this is what my past courses or my archived courses look like in Blackboard. So you'll see this is for fall 2021, and it is now private. So I can't access them. I can just see what my courses were. And then same thing for spring 2022. They're marked private, so I can't get into them anymore, but I can see what my courses were. And that is it. Here are my references, and I hope that this was helpful. If you would like to reach out with any questions, my email and my social media handle are on the screen. Thanks so much. Bye.